On Tuesday afternoon, former President Donald Trump is expected to surrender to authorities in New York and appear in court for the first time after a grand jury voted to indict him late last week. Sources telling CNN and other outlets that Trump is facing more than 30 counts related to business fraud. Joining me this morning to talk about this, criminal defense lawyer Gal Pazetsky of Pazetsky Law. Gal, good to see you. Welcome back. I want to ask you questions that everybody's thinking about, but nobody seems to be addressing. You'll know the answers. A lot of talks as to whether the charges will be misdemeanors or felonies here. We don't know what the charges are yet, but the question in people's mind, well, if it's a felony, why isn't a federal court hearing this? Why is a state court hearing it?
There's a big difference between federal and state courts. Not every crime that is charged in state court is eligible to be charged in federal court. There has to be something that ties it into a federal violation. And if it doesn't, then it is a state crime.
There's 34 counts here. If that's the case, that seems like a lot for the whole Stormy Daniels situation. I realize every check gets a count. Still tough to get up to 34. What is your expectation that there may be more here than people are thinking about?
If there are 34 counts, there probably is a little bit more than what people are thinking about. But I can tell you that, for example, in Illinois, there's many ways to charge somebody for the same exact crime. It doesn't mean that when they eventually get convicted, they're going to be sentenced on all of them. They all kind of merge together if they are convicted. But the state's attorney's office here in Illinois, and I'm sure the DA's office in New York, charge people in multiple ways for the same crime that is being committed.
And of course, there will be lots of motions to dismiss at the early part of this. If that's the case, isn't it possible that we could have a judge who throws out a lot of these charges? Because apparently there may be some novel theories for these, these more serious charges. So what expectation that a judge might get rid of a lot of this?
A judge can only get rid of or dismiss certain counts of the indictment if they violated, for example, some rules with the grand jury, or if the prosecutor or the police officers, law enforcement that testified committed some sort of prosecutorial misconduct or something that was not kosher in the grand jury. Otherwise, if they charge him with 30 or however many counts, it's going to be an issue for the jury to decide, and not an issue for the judge to dismiss based on lack of evidence, for example.
There's a lot of chatter on TV and elsewhere where people are saying this is the least serious of the cases. You've got the Georgia election interference case and obstruction. You've got DOJ's matters, Mar-a-Lago documents, all this stuff going on. If other entities were to file charges against the former president, does DA Alvin Bragg care? In other words, does the timing of all this impact? Does Bragg sit back and go, okay, you're more important, DOJ, you should go first? Does anybody talk?
They don't necessarily talk, and nothing is more, no one charge is more important than another charge just because it's in a different state or a different jurisdiction. But there might be a scenario where some charges are more serious, and therefore there will be an agreement to put the other charges on the back burner until the more serious charges are resolved.
All right, well, they say it may take a year till this gets to the court. If that's the case, we'll be talking to you a lot over these next period of months and years. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
All right, Gal Pazetsky with Pazetsky Law. One more break. After this, an inside look at Chicago's suburban elections, why the mayoral contest in Naperville could go down to the wire. Don't go anywhere.